Hello, and welcome to another edition of Just 5 Minutes in Acts, short 5-minute reflections on the New Testament book called The Acts of the Apostles. I'm Clay Brown, Associate Pastor for Equipping Ministries at Memorial Drive Presbyterian Church, Houston, Texas. And we're going to look at one thought from today's passage and then one implication of that thought. And by implication, I simply mean if the thought's on target, then here's what it means for your life and mine. The passage is Acts chapter 1, verses 12 through 26, but I want to focus on verses 23 through 26. What happens to the 120 followers of Jesus who are waiting in Jerusalem? Let me read from the New Living Translation. So they nominated 2 men, Joseph called Barsabbas, also known as Justus, and Matthias. Then they prayed, O Lord, you know every heart. Show us which of these men you have chosen as an apostle to replace Judas in this ministry. Then they cast lots, and Matthias was selected. Casting lots, what is that? Well, you write everyone's name on an individual stone, and then you put the stones in a container, you turn it over, shake it around a bit, and then you flip it over, and whatever stone falls out first, that's your person. What? You might as well flip a coin, you're thinking. Well, we're not that much more sophisticated, are we? We've broken a lot of tie elections, for example, by flipping coins. And one of the most celebrated coin flips, remember the movie Friday Night Lights? Billy Bob Thornton, as the coach of Odessa Permian, meets the coaches of Midland Lee and Midland High School in a truck stop about halfway between Midland and Odessa at 0:30 in the morning. Why? Because there are only 2 playoff spots in the wild and woolly world of West Texas high school football, and there are 3 teams. How to solve it? You flip a coin. Odd man out. The coin flip is televised live. Ready, set, flip. Odessa Permian and Midland Lee, welcome to the playoffs. Midland High, sorry, but here's a nice consolation prize. You think that's a made-up Hollywood story about the craziness of West Texas football? Not at all. It really happened. Pretty much as presented. Right now, I hear the Permian fans chanting, Mojo, Mojo. Settle down. Permian's not what it once was. It's now schools from the DFW Metroplex and the Houston suburbs that dominate Texas high school football. Move along, Clay. What's the one thought here? Simply this, a theological presumption that informs everything the new Christian community does. God is sovereign. He's in charge. God works through all kinds of human processes to accomplish His greater plan, His ultimate will. And sometimes our processes make a lot of sense, and other times they don't. But always, God is large and in charge. He is the sovereign God of the universe. Nothing can thwart His ultimate plan. The apostles and their friends need to trust in that. They're one door knock away from being arrested and maybe even crucified. But the risen Jesus has been with them, has taught them and guided them, and now they're waiting for the next step. They know, despite the precariousness of their situation, God's in charge. And so let's fill the spot now while we wait for the Spirit to come. Now, what's one implication of this thought? Sometimes things look like they're falling apart and the apocalypse isn't far behind. Look again. God is in charge. It's this attitude of trust and commitment to the sovereign God who has revealed Himself uniquely to us in Jesus Christ that we should cultivate, that we need to trust in right now. Things in our present cultural moment are not going so well. Like you needed me to tell you that. I don't care which political party you belong to or which group you identify with. It's pretty clear there are signs of brokenness and struggle everywhere. To believe that God is present with us and in us and through us during such a time as this is a very strong statement of faith. And it's a statement of faith because sometimes we just don't see it. But God is working out His sovereign plan, sometimes through the affairs of humans and sometimes despite the affairs of humans. He did so with the first Christians in Acts, and He's doing so with us. Don't despair. We are in God's hands. The risen Jesus is in charge, and there's no better, safer, more secure place to be. Well, I think that's enough for now. Questions? Email me at cbrown@mdpc.org. That's cbrown@mdpc.org. Next time, Acts chapter 2, verses 1 through 13. One thought, one implication. Thanks. God bless you. See you next time.